Hey everyone, it's Dean from Real Estate Dynamics, and I've got Matt with me today, and we've just wanted to ask him a couple of questions. Now, Matt got us to sell his business up in Cairns. That was McGrath Cairns. And I wanted to ask him, why did you pick us, and how did you go about picking someone in that space?
Yeah, I went about, I had previously knew you, Dean, and just sort of felt comfortable with how you spoke, and you know, and I made inquiries on other rent rolls and that, and felt that you were kind of professional about your approach. And so that was kind of probably the main drive, and I, to be honest, didn't really know of anyone else. But yeah, so it's a pretty easy decision. And
then once you made a decision as far as going forward from there, was there a lot of things you really didn't have a clue? Like as in because you hadn't sold before? Like it's like someone coming to try and sell a house for the first time if they try to do it themselves?
Yeah, probably the amount of pre-work. I probably should have started earlier, sort of thing. But it's sort of stuff you can do, but it just, over a shorter period of time, it's just a bit more pressure than what it probably needed to be, that's all. But yeah.
And did you find, as far as that, I guess I'm prompting some of that, but some of the questions as far as things either come up or we prompted you to make sure you're looking for this or make sure at different times that we're stepping you through, because there's a lot of moving parts throughout that whole transaction. And there's a lot of things that can go off track. And I think that I've always said if you've got a willing buyer and a willing seller, you can work things out, but you need to also have some paperwork behind that as a basis from that. What was some of the, if you were to do it again, what are some of the most standout learnings if you were to do it again? Is one being ready?
Probably being ready, probably have a bit more thought about the solicitor you use. I definitely recommend that. And just have a conversation before. It's not like it's easy in property to sort of jump kind of with anyone in because you're used to dealing with conveyancers on a daily basis. So you sort of feel as though you're quite comfortable in that realm. But it is a slightly different scenario, and
they need more depth of knowledge.
More depth, and it's someone who can have a relationship over a pretty long period of time. So you got to kind of like them as well. So that helps.
That's a very good point.
So, in fact, probably you have more relationship with that solicitor than anyone. So it's pretty important that you kind of get on with them and respect them, understand them, and you know they understand what you want to.
Yeah, and that's also a really critical point as far as it's not the same potentially solicitor that just does conveyancing. You would want to really ask them, have they sold rent rolls before? Have they been through that transaction? Do they know? So that you're not paying for them to bring up to speed, that they're ready to rock. What about for your office? If you were to do it again, not that you are now, but if you were to do it again now, what sort of things would you, for somebody else, to get ready?
Just, I think probably the key thing is that, like you sort of said, if you've got a willing buyer and a willing seller, that works really well, but you kind of got to also have sort of, it's probably a lot easier if you've got a good relationship with the landlords too in selling. So just, so there's a, you know, they trust you, like basically, because you're coming to them with something that's a bit from left field. So they kind of got to be able to roll with that fairly easily and efficiently, sort of thing. And most, in 95% of cases, it's what happens. But certainly, the more you can preempt that or have a good relationship, the better, I think too.
And what do you mean by a good relationship? How would that, as in good trust? I mean, they do trust you in some ways because their property, one of the most valuable assets, is with you. How would someone go about developing a better relationship? What do you currently do, as an example?
Look, I once heard one of the other McGrath principals talk about happy calls to landlords, sort of thing. So what that means is sort of calling on a not necessarily call at a time when they don't need something, you know, because usually whenever they hear from the property manager, it's probably because it's going to be a drama of some type. So just if you can create a relationship sort of outside of that, maybe call them every 6 months or once a year, or how often you feel comfortable. Or
as the owner of the business?
As the owner of the business, and just thank them for the business, you know, whether that's a pre-Christmas call or whether it's just randomly through the year. It's probably easier randomly through the year, so you don't have to do it all at once. But
that's a really good point. Really. Anyway, I just wanted to share as far as Matt had gone through that process, and there's a lot of moving parts. We're here to help you, and I hope that was helpful. I'm Dean. Thanks, Matt McGrath Noosa. Cheers.